am Sophie Stardrop. I am the game director of Heartstrings, A Yonder Story, and more recently, I am becoming a mom. Now, first, for the sake of clarity, I am not yet a mom. I am pregnant. I am currently living with my husband. We have our own little place, and while my husband has a job, I want to make this small storytime channel as I want to make it grow as a way to support my family. I wanted to talk about my experience a little bit being a game dev and managing my in real life too. There's a lot of things that I feel like could be shown from these experiences, and I wanted to share them, so here it goes. A lot of people don't really know why I even started the project when I was in such a bad situation in real life. However, it was precisely that bad situation that got me into starting the project. While I don't really like to remember all that happened, we went homeless, we were attacked multiple times, it was a very difficult time. I could say that I started with a proposal for the game, I guess you could say like a pitch to YouTube, as a way to help both me and my back at the day boyfriend, now husband, to get out of a very, well, I guess I just said it. We were homeless, we were attacked, it was horrible, and we couldn't really rely on anyone for help. So I just threw, I guess, a rock to a river and expected a response, and I got a response, so that was good. Probably the hardest part for me, even back then, was trying to balance my in real life with my internet life. A lot of things happened, a lot of things that I never even made public, and most of them were very anxiety driven. I don't know how to explain it, but just to put an example, during these times where I was trying to, I guess, live my life and be in a game development on the side, we were constantly struggling with bad things happening to us. For example, at some point while traveling outside of our homes, we suffered multiple robbery attempts. We saw a lot of very dark things, things that obviously affected my mental health. Just to mention a couple of them, we found a suicide scene in the middle of the street. So those kinds of things really mess up your head. And I guess you could understand that at many times of game development I was not really in the right position of mind, since I felt like I was mostly surviving my own situation more than anything. Even then, I still tried to keep my head up, keep working on the game, and luckily we've been able to show progress monthly. While the situation was not the best, at some point between begging and working and doing whatever we could, my husband found a very stable job, and we've been sustaining on it for a couple of months now, not many. I'm still mostly in charge of trying to bring food to the house while he pays the overall accounts, the bills you could say. And overall now I'm supporting myself mostly on commissions and as little as I can actually do with coffee and other side gigs I get every now and then. Eventually, I got to know of a very happy news, but one that I wasn't expecting, which was my pregnancy. Now, while this is something that I try to keep mostly to myself, both me and my husband always wished to be parents at some point, not so soon admittedly, but we always assumed this was impossible. Mostly, one of us is diagnosed with infertility. So, in case you don't know, there's different types of infertility. This case in particular was one that, while it was not impossible, the possibility was 0.5 at most. On top of that, the other one was extremely stressed out all the time. So having something like that even happen, especially since we were both taking care of ourselves, it was less than plausible. So suddenly being hit with the "you're pregnant" card, it's like, wait, what? I thought this wasn't supposed to happen. For the longest time I couldn't even believe it, and I tried to just work on my game project and my own commissions as much as I could, but not so long ago we actually went to the first echo. I don't know if you guys call it that, but yeah, we just went to see the baby, and yeah, it is there, it's with me. And you know, you can only guess that despite all the difficulties in our lives, this was just a massive blessing. It almost feels like a rainbow child, to be honest. As beautiful as that may be, it's also important to note that I still have an online life to live. In my case, it's working with my team and working with my commissions. Luckily, everyone that I told, especially people on my team and my friends, helped me keep the secret for a bit. I didn't want to say anything until I felt more comfortable, a little bit more stable, both mentally and, well, I guess I just wanted to see the baby. Pinka was also like, Pinka is my husband. Pinka was also like so excited to just talk about it, but he felt like he couldn't. Precisely because we were still very early in the process, and in case you don't know, it's very likely that a woman can lose a baby if she gets too stressed about it. Therefore, we didn't want to add that extra pressure in me. Admittedly, ever since I've gotten pregnant, while I have been a little bit more depressed, I believe this is mostly because of the baby hormones. There's also the thing that I've been feeling, I guess, more motivated. Like, I don't know how to explain it, because sometimes I just feel like I can't even do anything, and sometimes I'm like really hyper and I want to do everything. It's a weird mix. Sometimes I feel like the world is terrible, sometimes I feel like the world is amazing. It's been even more of a mess than before. On top of that, I had to command everyone in the team even when I felt like I couldn't do much. Everyone was very understanding about my situation, and that's something that I will always appreciate about my work team. While people that are not working on the game with me may criticize a lot of stuff about me, which, freedom of speech, they can do whatever they want, there's not as many people that actually know what's been in my head and what's been happening on my life for several months. Some of those people are both my friends and my work team. I am very honest with them, and I like to always answer to any questions they might have about me. I like to believe that that's one of the reasons why we're always together and we're a very united team. Thanks to all the love and support I've been receiving from them, a lot of things became a lot easier. They've always been understanding with me, that's something I appreciate, but now more than ever, I really needed support and help, and they were able to provide it. I still want to work on my game project, and there's just so much to do, but a lot of the times I have to stop, take care of my real self, and be with my husband while doing stuff. I've always been someone who cares maybe a bit too much about other people, about both in real life and internet stuff, but I had to learn that during pregnancy you cannot really care for many things outside of your closest circle of people and yourself. Well, I'm still in the stage of mental recovery. As I've talked during this channel, I went through a lot of stuff in my life, and in fact I have not even said half of the stuff I've been through. It's just a lot. But I like to believe that talking about these experiences, sharing them, and overall just making people feel not as lonely as I felt when I lived them is something that is both helping me and is helping my recovery from my mental stuff, so I can be a better mother for my child and a better boss for my people. That's what I personally believe. Well, this video may not have a lot of things to share since I didn't really have much of an idea of how to talk about all the experiences I've been feeling lately. In reality, I just feel blessed to have the husband I have, to have the child that I have, to have the team that I have, and to some extent to just not give up, since based on everything I've said, it would be easier to just, I guess, give up on everything, if you know what I mean. But I try to not think about that. I've been taking care of myself, of what I eat, of what I do. I try to keep everything cleaned, and I guess knowing that there's someone inside you that you can fight for is something that really means something. It really changes how you see things. While my country, Chile, is not a country known for having art be supported by companies or more things. In fact, there's only one animation studio in Chile, the Marmota Studios, and sadly that does not accept work. For example, you cannot find jobs for 2D animators in Chile. It literally does not exist. You need to go to either an European country or try to get online gigs. That's like the only thing you can truly get here if you're talking about a stable job, or in my case, go indie. I want to believe that everything I'm doing now with my own game, with my own stories, will eventually be the foundation of anything my child wants to do. If they want to become an artist, I don't want them to suffer as much as I did. As such, I wish that this game project worked, and in the future, maybe I could even make my own studio to help people and overall just create more opportunities for everyone. It's always been in my mind to just help creative people like I wasn't help, but for that I need to first make my own things work, and maybe if they do, we can eventually expand. That's dreaming too much into the future, and maybe none of that will ever work, but as long as I can at the very least, provide for my family and I can fulfill the promises I made, I think that'll be enough for now. Again, a shorter video. I just wanted to talk about how I've been feeling regarding this entire thing, and yeah, I think that's about it for now. Thank you so much for all the love and support you've been showing me recently, and see you in the next one. Bye bye!